Hey investor friends, I'm Michelle Markey, and if you've watched my channel before, you know that I'm a big student of the best investors, Warren Buffett and Charlie Munger, and I just can't seem to get enough of Charlie Munger's wisdom. So today I've curated for you some of my favorite Charlie Munger gems of wisdom from the 2023 Daily Journal Corporation annual meeting, in which he was asked a whole bunch of questions through Becky from a number of Daily Journal shareholders, including some of my friends Alejandro Salcedo, who asked about the secret of life and asked Charlie to expand on that, as well as my friend Adam Mead, who I recently interviewed about how to value Berkshire Hathaway, which you can feel free to check out that video if you're interested. And Adam Mead basically asked, how does Charlie Munger deal with getting old? And also, can he trust his judgment in his older age? And that was also a very funny response that Charlie shared in response to Adam Mead's question that you definitely should check out if you want to get a laugh in. And also how to develop good judgment so you can succeed in life, as well as what Charlie Munger thinks about Berkshire Hathaway as an investment, and also what he thinks about the overall investment environment going forward into the future, and also what the key to longevity is, because Charlie Munger is 99 years young, and spoiler alert, it does not involve exercise. So if you'd like to learn and listen about what all of these secret sauces are that Charlie Munger has whipped up throughout his life, be sure to like and subscribe to my video and YouTube channel and enjoy the following as much as I did.
This is Adam Mead, and he said, Charlie, in your 1995 talk, The Psychology of Misjudgment, you listed senescence as a cause of misjudgment. You said old people like me get pretty skilled without working on it at disguising age-related deterioration because social convention, like clothing, hides much decline. You went on to say that such decline was inevitable. He says, you're my hero, Charlie, and I offer you this question with the utmost respect, but feel it needs to be asked. Would 71-year-old Charlie trust the judgment and mental capacity of 99-year-old Charlie?
Well, there's no question about the fact that you lose some mental acuity as you get older. But some people get shrewder at adapting to their limitations, and they do pretty well. And so far, I've had plenty of decline, but I'm pretty shrewd about the way I handle it. And so far, the results have not been that bad in my old age.
As evidence,
my sex life would be a different subject.
Well, I will point out to people we have not given you any of these questions in advance, so you're taking blind questions. Yeah. Alejandro Salcedo writes in, he says, reading many entrepreneurs and famous people, they always say that you have to dream really big. Instead, you say, Charlie, that the secret to a happy life is having low expectations. Could you please expand on that?
Well, yes, and you climb as hard as you can by just advancing 1 inch at a time. That's the secret of life. And now there's always somebody who's a little nuts and who succeeds. But for every guy who succeeds, there are 1,000 failures.
Is this an under-promise, over-deliver situation too?
Well, of course, who in the hell in his right mind would like going around making a lot of commitments and failing time after time after time at doing what you'd promised to do? Everybody would hate you, right? There's no more guaranteed way to make people hate you than to fail them in their reasonable expectations. So, of course you want to live a life where by and large you're meeting the reasonable expectations of other people. That's what civilization requires of all of us.
Somebody said, this came from Aditi Ghan in Australia, what would the 100th day of your life look like, and how would you want to spend it when you step out of bed in the morning?
Well, I step out of my bed these days and then sit down in my wheelchair. So I am paying some price for old age, but I prefer it to being dead. And whenever I feel sad being in a wheelchair, I think, well, you know, Roosevelt ran the whole damn country for 12 years in a wheelchair. So I'm just trying to make this wheelchair thing last as long as Roosevelt did.
That's a good plan. I like it. What should he teach them, incorporating as many writings and speeches that you've given over the years so that they have the foundations and common sense to effectively deal with their personal or corporate finance problems later in life?
Well, that's a good question because it's a big question. And if you have good judgment, your life will work a lot better than if you have bad judgment. And you get good judgment gradually over time, partly by making bad judgments and having them work out poorly. And so my counsel has always been to start trying to be better and keep trying to improve all your life, and you got about half a chance. If you don't do that, you got like no chance. And so I used to say I can only teach what the other person almost knows. Then I can just throw him over the brink when he's hanging on the edge. But if the guy is not within miles of even starting, I never make any public. I never succeed. So in removing idiocy, I have a 100% failing talent. I've never succeeded.
What would you push in that direction if you've got a class full of finance students in college? Maybe what are a few lessons you
I would teach to the people who can learn, and if the others couldn't keep up, the hell with them. Well, it can't be improved, can't be improved. I don't believe in butting my head against the wall. And that, by the way, that's the way most education works. They just throw out those who can't keep up. That's the way academia works. That's the reason it gets so good at the top. I talked yesterday on Zoom with a law professor at a great place. My God, this is an admirable guy, and he's just so goddamn smart and balanced. Incredible. But he's a very senior law teacher at one of the great law schools of the world. So I would expect him to be pretty good, but he was more than pretty good. He was awesome. And I thought, my God, academia is quite competitive, you know. By the time you get to the top of the professors at a good place, you find some very remarkable people. But there's a limit to what they can accomplish. One of the reasons that they turn out such good people is they take in such good people. That's their secret. They can't fix the clods. Nobody can.
Tough love.
There's an old saying, dumb is forever.
Dumb and diamonds. All right, the next question comes in from Michael, and I think his last name is Masso, but I'm going based on the address from the email and not a given last name. He says he's a very long-time Berkshire share owner who read an irritating recent Barron's article that stated Berkshire share owners could benefit after Warren, as the company could come under pressure to break up. I don't see how we would benefit with our businesses being broken up, as you and Warren have long stated the company as a whole is stronger and one division could always aid another division in need. He says he knows Warren and you, Charlie, have said that the current structure and philosophies will be preserved after your departures, and I hope not for a very long time. However, please offer us share owners reassurance that the company would never succumb to these silly pressures to break it up.
Well, I don't think it's at all likely that it'll be broken up for a long, long time. A lot of companies are worth more dead than alive, meaning at the current price for whole businesses, you could sell things at higher prices. But you can only do it once. The shareholders would pay a big tax. Then you'd have the problem of what to do with the money and so forth. I think all factors considered, and with Berkshire buying in its own shares when they're reasonably priced, I think Berkshire's a pretty damn good bet for shareholders to hold it long term in the future. And I don't think it's any hardship that it isn't being broken up. It works pretty damn well. Everybody that bought Berkshire and held it for 20 years has done well. I think that will be true for those who buy it at the current price.
What about the potential for pressure from activists?
I don't think it'll be as good in the future as it was in the past, but it will be okay considering how poorly everything else is going to do.
Why do you think everything else is going to do so poorly?
Because the valuations start higher now, and because government is so hostile to business.
And that's a view over the next 5, 10, 20 years? How far out are you thinking?
I would say it'll fluctuate naturally between administrations and so on. But I think basically the culture of the world will become more and more anti-business in the big democracies. And I think taxes will go up, not down. So I think the investment world is going to get harder for everybody. But it's been almost too easy in the past for the investment class. It's natural that it would have a period of getting harder.
Mike,
I don't worry about it much because I'm going to be dead. You know, it won't bother me very much when I'm lying there dead.
I guess you want to point out to people you're 99. Nobody lives forever. That's what you're referring to. You're not
Yes,
sick
I
right at the
know,
moment.
99, right.
Yeah, you're not sick at the moment, right?
No, I'm eating this good peanut brittle. That's
Yes.
what you want to do if you want to live to be 99.
We did get some people who wrote in asking
I
about
hate,
what...
I hate to advertise my own product, but this is the key to longevity.
C's peanut brittle, I can see. I saw the box earlier. We did get a lot of people who wrote in questions just asking what your daily habits are, what you do every day, if you exercise, if you think exercising a lot when you're younger is important to longevity.
Well, that's a very... I have almost no exercise except when the Army Air Corps made me do exercise. I've done almost no exercise on purpose in my life. If I enjoyed the activity like tennis, I would exercise. But for the first 99 years, I've gotten by without doing any exercise at all.
And you're not planning on changing that anytime soon?
No, I'm not changing it.